Thank you very much. And who else for Father's Day but Bio Daddy himself, the support of TSM. First of all, kind of reflecting back on the weekend and this series, obviously a much better week here for TSM going 2-0. Kind of how you feeling now that the weekend's over and you guys have started to pick up a few more wins?
It feels pretty good. I think in the first couple of weeks, we were like trying a lot of different comps. And then this week, we kind of fell back to a more like comfortable style in which we were like a lot more used to. So I think because of that, it definitely looked a lot better for us. And we're definitely working a lot of our core issues. And we're trying to fix them up for the next coming up weeks.
And it has been interesting to hear you talk about Star because there have been quite a lot of changes in the metagame, particularly in your position in support where the rise of playmaking supports has happened. Do you prefer that? We saw a lot of your Bard in spring and summer. You do seem to perform on these playmaking supports. As far as personal preference or your thoughts on the metagame, are you happy that you're playing more Thresh, more Braum, those kind of champions?
Yeah, it's pretty cool to play a lot of playmaking champions because support normally is a role that doesn't really get noticed unless you play like playmaking champions like Thresh. And now you kind of see some of the support players kind of like shine with the Bard plays and the Thresh plays, so it's cool to see. I think back in the meta where people mainly played like Lulu, Zyra, and Karma, it was really hard to notice whether or not a support player was doing like everything that he could because it's just not really noticeable. And at least from a spectator's point of view, it's really hard to see. So I'm glad that there's more playmaking supports in the meta now.
And then as far as synergy, kind of with Doublelift moving back into the team, how's that been going for you? Obviously, you were a rookie when you started playing with him in the summer of last year, and now you've had a whole split with Total and Doublelift coming back in. How's readjusting him back into the team and building that synergy back been going?
I think it's going pretty well because we've been playing a lot of champions that we used to play before, and we're like used to a lot of the matchups. It's just kind of about working on like team play and kind of like finding out what our style is and what like fits us the best. And it's also trying to like diversify ourselves in a lot of like other different comps because only playing like a single comp and it has a lot of weaknesses. So you should be able to play like a lot of different types of comps. So we've been working on that.
Well, it makes sense. And of course, my final question, the most important one of today, did you wish your father happy Father's Day?
I actually did. Also, you can wish me a happy Father's Day as well. So,
yeah, don't forget to wish the Bio Daddy happy Father's Day. Congratulations on the win today, but we are going to send it back to the caster for some more thoughts.
We actually I guess we should take the team fight. What you're showing right now.
Oh no.
Hey, you should take that team fight. It's probably really good.
I bet it's a great team fight, Dash. I agree with you.
Absolutely. Also, now you have two dads to wish Happy Father's Day, so I guess I got to wish my bio dad a Happy Father's Day after that win. It's only right.
There you go. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. But
yes.
Back to the game.
Absolutely.
Or the recap of
the recap of the game. Looking at the team compositions first as they came in, we said in game one it was a bit interesting that Envy chose that all AP. Second game, they diversified a little bit, and they had that early game. We looked for Envy once again, but SVENSKEREN still a little bit faster with that lead in.
Yeah, I mean, Sven was incredible in the early minutes of this game. He got TSM out to a very good lead, which they then promptly threw. But Envy did get ahead. I think from about the 10-15 minute mark, Envy was ahead a fair bit and had their opportunities to win this game because to your point, it wasn't a 4 AP comp. It was a very well-rounded composition. They had team fight, they had split push, like they had a lot of ways to win the game. Yep. But sometimes when you go for those risky calls and it's not completely fair to say it's just about the Baron, but that was really the biggest swing point, right? They were in control, and not only did they give up a couple kills, they gave up the Baron because they decided to go for this very risky play. It was super clever, but sometimes you can get a little bit too clever for yourself.
So SVENSKEREN as well on that play. Actually, we have a role of him, the kind of the man of the hour coming in throughout this series, playing very well, and he got his Lee Sin twice. One of the most banned champions against TSM, but he was able to just get his flow going and starting. This was 2.5 minutes in. That hurts.
Yeah, I mean, then they pull off a perfect turret dive top. They don't even have to blow a flash.
Yeah, that was
to get the summoner out of SERAPH and take him down. Really just across the map. Sven was everywhere and getting things done. He pulls off a gank mid lane, pulls off a dive top lane, pulls off a dive bot lane. He really was on fire, and for a guy who has been the target of some criticism from TSM fans, from TSM haters alike, it's nice to have a good game like that for himself. But I gotta say, like, even when Sven is not playing his best, I feel like he's always good on Lee Sin. Like, this is his champ. Like, this is the one that you have to be very scared about giving over to him. I feel like it's on some of the other champions they struggles more because you can play super aggressive and do these crazy invades on Lee, partly because you have the great mobility and ward hops and stuff to get out. And on some of the others, you don't have as much flexibility with that, so he can get punished more often.
One of the things when I think about that in Sven is his Lee on the world stage. He's been able to do it with that composure. It was nasty. Exactly. As we move on, we do remember you said TSM kind of had a bit of a throw bit where they were playing catch with Envy at 10 minutes in, Doublelift flashing forward, kind of taking things into his own hands here, but his hands, they were a bit a little fumbly. A little bit
unlucky there for Doublelift. You know, he watched the Keith highlight from yesterday, and he's like, I can do that. Hold my beer. But it turns out a little bit harder than it looked, and he was able to miss. But this is where it kind of gets bad because they move forward, they're kind of committing to a fight, and they come down. The TPs are coming in. You know, the TP from HAUNTZER is pretty far away, and SERAPH is just TPing straight into the middle of the fight. I mean, look how far away HAUNTZER is. Yeah. And Doublelift now, without that flash, they're able to pile in on him, take him down. HAUNTZER ended up sticking around a little bit too long here and dying as well, so it ends up being like a 4-for-0 in the extended play from Envy.
So I remember now, I was like, how did HAUNTZER get back down towards Dragon in this? Because they're like, BJERGSEN's gone, and they go kill HAUNTZER. It's so extended.
Yeah, he kind of just wanders down. He wanted to pick up the huge wave bot, right?
Yeah,
He's like,
you're right, you're right.
I can just run down bot, grab that CS. Unfortunately, he dies too. So this was kind of an unfortunate series of events there for TSM, but it all swung back once again.
It did. Right after
how the pendulum swings.
Right after that play, we remember Envy getting in the jungle, taking SVENSKEREN down again. That played out to then the Baron, where Envy did feel like those invades gave them the upper hand, and they say, "Oh, we backed off. We're done at Baron." But we're not.
Exactly. I mean, Envy killed off a couple TSM members. They're like, okay, TSM pushes off. They're going to reset. So they blast cone over, but BIOFROST comes back from base. He had died earlier, finds them at no HP here. Doublelift hadn't even based yet. SVENSKEREN comes back. They pick up a couple free kills.
I like how he just walks at LIRA.
Yeah, I mean, SERAPH, SERAPH actually sliced and diced into the wall. He tried to go over an area that was too thick. So maybe had he stayed alive, maybe they can stop that Baron. But either way, TSM do get the Baron. From there on out, look at the gold swing. That was
much
right at
different from game one.
Exactly. I mean, right at that 32-minute mark or so, Envy was in control. They're looking good. They give up the Baron. It goes straight in TSM's way. And after that, it was all TSM all the time.
It's funny. I remember the analyst desk kind of rolling out last time with, I think they should stop giving TSM that many comfort picks. And they get the Syndra and the Lee again, back the HAUNTZER with play of the game in one. He gets that one on the Gragas, and it just goes awry again for Envy once they get control.
I mean, it's tough. TSM, they have pretty deep champion pools, right? These guys can play a lot of things. If there's one you might want to talk about, maybe it's the Lee Sin, right? Because everyone kind of says that's Sven's best, but BJERGSEN can play everything. Doublelift can play everything. BIOFROST has a deep champion pool. HAUNTZER is showing carries. He's showing tanks. It's hard to knock these guys off what is considered a comfort pick.
And you talk about that Lee Sin a little bit. SVENSKEREN getting player of the game here in 2. We saw BJERGSEN going off, but this guy was putting everything on a platter. A 2-minute hit for BJERGSEN there. You know that guy's going to be able to control the lane. And then it was much different this time. He says, I have to diversify where I give my resources to. He was just about able to hit every lane this time.